Before the Fantastic Four and Avenger movies, there was one team that absolutely owned the 90s. From comics, TV shows, and even film. That team was the X-Men. In this video, we'll be discussing how the X-Men became the first Marvel group to get a movie and how it kinda saved Marvel. In 1984, Orion Pictures owned the film rights to put X-Men on the big screen. Due to financial reasons, development never even got on the talking stages and went right back to Marvel. Stan Lee and Chris Claremont were in the talking stages to other studios to possibly get James Cameron as a producer and the director of Point Break, Catherine Bigelow, to direct. Bigelow even wrote a draft where the Bobby Hopkins is supposed to be Wolverine. Of course, in early Marvel fashion, it fell through. That is until known Spider-Man producer Avi Arad stepped up. Love him or hate him, he's the reason why the animated X-Men TV series got made, as he was a lead producer. 20th Century Fox loved how well it was doing and decided to buy the film rights and start developing something good. It took them 4 years to finally find some stable ground. After years of asking for directors, they finally settled upon Bryan Singer, who was recently directing The Usual Suspects. The only reason why Singer decided to sign on is because he liked the script. Producer Tom DeSanto showed Singer on the themes of prejudice from the comics and showed it could really be deeper than just a superhero movie. Singer and DeSanto then sent a treatment to Fox saying it was the perfect one. They made for the intent of Xavier and Magneto to compare to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, which yes, this is where these comparisons really come from and originated. Fox actually rejected this treatment only because they thought it would just be too expensive. So after deleting some characters and moving a lot of things around, and I mean a lot of things around, the script was finally set to film. The plot consists of U.S. Senator Robert Senator R. Kelly? Senator Kelly wants to pass the Mutant Registration Act. This would make every mutant have to reveal their identities and mutations. Kind of reminds me of Civil War. Of course, this doesn't go well with Magneto, and he sets his course into making everyone in New York mutants. His plan hugely relies on Rogue being captured, which first of all, how did he find about her or her powers, and how did he find where she was? They never really explain that, at all. As a retaliation from Senator R. Kelly being so harsh on mutants, Eric decides to test out the mutation machine on him first, and it works. Kinda. See, the machine does mutate humans, but it also kills them shortly after. Now, we don't know for a fact that it's with everyone that it happens to, or it could just be one thing, but the X-Men aren't trying to find out. As smart as Magneto is, he doesn't do a few more controlled tests. It seems like he just does it once and goes, okay, it worked, let's do it. It just seems a little dumb if I'm being honest. Let's talk about Hugh Jackman. I really love his performance as Wolverine, especially in this movie. He's not overly too cool, he's actually very caring and just down to earth. You can tell how much he cares for Rogue and dealing with her being a mutant and her powers and just how crazy and upsetting it is for her. When you think of Wolverine, it's usually the cool guys don't look at explosions type of facade. But in this movie, he's very human and emotionally soft. You can tell he's troubled and disturbed. He should really get commended more for how human he makes him in this movie, just like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen make their characters. I always love a villain that you can sometimes sympathize with and more importantly just understand where they're coming from and their point of view. I've always believed that hate breeds hate, and with Magneto, he has always been a great character to explore that with, and they write him like that really well. Same with Xavier, as you can see the light in someone and not follow that tainted path of hating someone just because they hate you due to their ignorant reasons. They did understand these characters pretty well, even after all the dumb decisions that they did with Magneto. Now, one of my not if favorite X-Men has always been Scott Summers. His design has always looked cool to me. He's always been just a great leader and someone to look up to. But in this movie, he sucks. He has some charm charm, and the battle of him and Wolverine have never been anything new, but I don't feel like there's a redemption for him in this story. He's just kind of a pushover, and I don't like that at all. I wish they gave him some more respect, as it's a common theme now to kind of just sideline him, and I'm kind of tired of it, and I feel like this is one of the original places where it started. No one in this film gives a bad performance besides, maybe, sometimes, Halle Berry. I think a lot of it just has to do with the writing and the fake accent, of course, that just disappears in later movies. But other than that, this cast is pretty good for their characters and fit really well. Yellow spandex. Where is the yellow spandex? Well, a big reason why there isn't any is because Stan Lee and Chris Claremont thought it would look dumb in real life. Chris was even quoted saying, "You can do that on a drawing, but when it comes to people, it's just disturbing." Singer went on record saying it made more sense for the X-Men to wear leather as a protective clothing and stealthily blend into the night, and I completely agree. Is it a terrible design? No. Is it the best? No, it looks uncomfortable and stiff. But it also just looks really decent and absolutely makes sense for the grounded take of this movie. Now, we're getting closer to comic book suits, but back when everything was all leather and grounded, this was a great compromise, and I can't complain. On July 14th, 2000, X-Men was released and made $21.4 million opening day. It became the third highest opening day of any film, so needless to say, it was a complete hit. It made $296 million worldwide during its run, making it the reason why the Spider-Man movie was greenlit to start production. The critical response was actually really good. Critics and audience were both on the same page with this one, making it absolutely clear that this was a sequel that needed to be done. Overall, this is a really good movie. Is the sequel far better? Absolutely. Even coming off the undeniable power the franchise had in the 90s, if this was just a standalone random movie that came out of nowhere, it's still a good movie and deserves that recognition. This was just a domino that led Marvel into being the powerhouse we know for today. Without it, there possibly would be no Spider-Man by Sam Raimi. Well guys, that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, drop a like and subscribe. I'm really curious what people have to say about this movie. I don't really hear anyone talk about this at all. It's usually the second movie or how bad the following sequels are. So I would like to bring attention back to this movie and just see what everyone has to say about it and the performances and how do you feel about Mystique. But anyway guys, I'm Comics from AVT and I'm out. Peace.